Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Pokemon White 2. I'm yours, the Pokegamer. In the last episode, we made our way to Luntimus Town and did a bit of exploring through the haunted house, only to find the Lunar Wing, which is an item that ties in with Cresselia. So we kind of did that. Today we will be going through Reversal Mountain for the majority of the episode, but there's a few other things that we are going to be doing as well. I also didn't get my flyer off screen. We will be getting it on screen because it's also going to be counted as a quote-unquote temporary team member, so that'll be a thing. But we probably won't be talking very much about Black and White today because we have a lot of AlphaSapphire and OmegaRuby stuff to cover. So I'm just going to start with the Megas, starting with the one Generation 4 one that we got. We got one Generation 4 and two Generation 3. The Generation 4 is Mega Lopunny, who receives a normal fighting typing, the ability Scrappy, and yeah, there's a few other things that I want to cover in regards to that, but I also want to kind of make a mention of Scrappy. Not only does she get stabbed on things like Jump Kick and like other fighting moves, but now she's also capable of hitting any kind of like Ghost type, things like that. So, I mean, it gets things like Fake Out and stuff like that. It's just really good for its ability. I'm kind of hoping that the stat increases make it kind of relevant, but at the same time, just being able to hit against a typing that it couldn't hit against before isn't much of a change, so I don't know exactly how relevant Mega Lopunny is going to be. However, the more important thing in regards to Mega Lopunny was apparently in the reveal that, like the image that she was revealed in, she apparently has the move High Jump Kick. Now, I know that Lopunny's never really been a relevant Pokemon in the competitive meta. It's never been OU, it's never been anything like that. However, High Jump Kick is a move that Lopunny has never ever received. I mean this literally. It's not been a move tutor move for it in Generation 5.2, not 5.1, not Generation 4. It has never received High Jump Kick. So, one can only assume that it's one of two things, and obviously the latter being impossible, because if that was the case, you would see it in Generation 6. The first being move tutors, the second, egg move, but I seriously doubt that they're going to edit a Pokemon's egg moves mid-generation. So again, impossible to, change up, its crap, and, so I mean, I don't know, I can't help but think that this is confirmation for move tutors. So, I mean, I could be wrong, I guess, but somehow I doubt that. So, I'd have to kind of say with full confidence that move tutors are back, because, again, Lopunny has never had access to High Jump Kick. It's only had access to Jump Kick, which is kind of lackluster in comparison to High Jump Kick, who also got, if I'm not mistaken, an accuracy boost in Generation 6. So, yeah, move tutors. Moving on from Lopunny, I'm going to save the one that I'm happiest for last. Next one being Mega Salamence. Now, recently my friend got trolled by a YouTube video that had, like, titled Mega Salamence Confirmed, and, like, it would show the trainer getting ready to activate the Mega Bangle, and then all of a sudden they would change over to a Rickroll, and then, that kind of crap. He's fallen for that like 3 times for separate occasions. I think there was one for Flygon, and then I want to say Castform or something like that. I don't really remember. But yeah, Mega Salamence is now confirmed. There are images of it from Korokoro up on Serebii. It kind of looks like a spaceship type of thing, which is kind of appropriate, I guess, considering they had the Space Center and whatnot, not to mention Meteor Falls and all that. Also, kind of want to mention the fact that you found Bagon in Meteor Falls back then, so kind of just throwing that out there. But yeah, so Mega Salamence, it retains its Dragon Flying typing, so a lot of people are kind of let down by that, especially by the fact that it looks kind of like it's got some kind of metallic body now. The thing that makes this thing broken is its ability. I called Salamence. I know a lot of you who actually continuously watch through my, episodes, my, Let's Play videos, everything. I've talked about Salamence in the past when AlphaSapphire and OmegaRuby information would come out. I have said that it has been on those fake leaks and everything like that, and considering the fact that those leaks have been quite accurate up till now, I kind of figured Salamence was basically 100% confirmed to get a Mega. Now, I was completely wrong about the ability. I did not, it's not Tough Claws, it's not whatever the hell else I called. It is Aerially, or however you pronounce it. Excuse me. For those of you who do not know or remember what Aerially does, all normal moves the Pokemon knows become Flying type and receive a 30% boost to its, base power or whatever. I think it's a 50%. I think it's 30 and then the stab is 50. One of the two. I don't really remember which one does what. But essentially with Aerially, any normal move gets an 80% increase and has this typing change to whatever the, ability changes it to, which in this case is Flying, which means this element is Dragon Flying typing and gives it stab to any of its normal moves, as well as any other like actual Flying and Dragon type moves. So, why is this a good thing? Allow me to explain something to you. This Pokemon has access to the following moves: Body Slam, Hyper Voice, Return, Frustration, and most importantly of all, Thrash. Anyone that doesn't remember what Thrash does, what it is it's essentially a normal version of Outrage. It'll attack for 2 to 3 turns, and on the final turn that it attacks with it, it will become confused. Thing is, sure, Outrage gets its boost and all. I mean, it gets the stab boost, which I'm assuming is the 50% boost. The problem with that is, Fairy is completely immune to Dragon, so giving something very similar to Outrage to Salamence, and giving it not only a stab boost, but an additional boost on that, makes it stronger than Outrage, and it hits Fairies for neutral damage. So, one can't help but think that Thrash is now going to be a very viable move for Salamence. Now, assuming that I did all the math correctly, Thrash with approximately an 80% boost, because I'm assuming that stab's 50 and then there's the 30% off of Aerially, its base power should be around a whopping 216 power. That's almost a 100% increase, which is absolutely disgusting. Not to mention, like, it can hit, like, okay, the fact that it has a monstrous attack, like, stat already, nothing's gonna really want to switch in on a 216 base power Thrash. I mean, there's gonna be things like Steel or whatever that might be able to wall it a little bit, but I mean, that high base power is really going to hurt regardless. So, I don't know. Body Slam's also really nice. It gives it a flying move with 80 base power that has a chance of paralysis, and depending on how Salamence's speed is affected, whether it gets an increase or not, Body Slam might be useful just for the fact that you could paralyze them and then outspeed and start doing massive damage. So, I mean, that's also kind of a thing. But, yeah. Now, the last Mega being Mega Altaria, and Altaria gets a new type changing. She is now Dragon Fairy. She also has the ability Pixelate. Can we just kind of stop with the broken Pokemon now, please? What I mean by this is, very similarly to Salamence, it has access to Hyper Voice, Body Slam, Return, Frustration, and now the Moonblast that it has by a level up in Generation 6 is now considered a stab move. So, that's the thing. I mean, Altaria does have access to decent physical moves. Like I said, there's Body Slam, Return, Frustration. It also has access to Outrage. It has things like Dragon Dance. It can be a decent physical offensive Pokemon. Of course, with things like Hyper Voice and Moonblast, it also is a very decent special attacker, considering it has, I think, both a base 70 attack and special attack. So, there's that. So, it could either be a mixed attacker, or it can be a physical or special attacker, by itself. It has a lot of really good moves, and I can't begin to emphasize that. this is the Mega that I'm looking forward to the most. It seems like it has a huge amount of potential. I love Salamence too, despite the fact that I'm not entirely fond of its, you know, updated design. But at the same time, like, Altaria really needed something like this to be decent, and depending on its increases, it might actually be OU after generation 6.2, which I'm calling, you know, AlphaSapphire or OmegaRuby, I guess. So I don't know. I really don't know. It's pretty off the charts here. Pixelate and Aerially being abilities that these Pokemon probably shouldn't have, but whatever, that's fine. Let's move on. So Megas being the more important thing, of course, they're out of the way. There are also a lot of other things that they can probably do, learn, and make use of that we just have no idea about yet. So the next thing is the Pikachu cosplay thing. Apparently with the cosplay Pikachu, if you dress them up, they can retain their cosplay even in battle. And the thing is if you do that, they get specific and very special moves. So going down the list of what we know, Pikachu Rockstar gets the move Meteor Mash, Pikachu PhD gets the move Electric Terrain, Pikachu Popstar gets Draining Kiss, Pikachu Bell gets Icicle Crash, and Pikachu Libre knows Flying Press. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. Meteor Mash is pretty decent for like a physical attacking Pikachu. Draining Kiss is also a very good move to have for health recovery, which is something I don't think Pikachu ever had. Icicle Crash is also nice, I guess. But I don't know. Like I think out of all of them, Draining Kiss, Icicle Crash, and Meteor Mash are both, or not both, but all three of those are basically the best out of all of the cosplay Pikachu moves. So I don't know. Flying Press might have some interesting, you know, shit going for it too. But the three that I mentioned, they're probably the best. I really don't know what they can really do with the Electric Terrain thing. I mean, Pikachu's usually frail, so I don't really see using something like a setup move like that. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong. And maybe there's something broken with it. I don't know. But there's that. Also, speaking of like the whole cosplay thing, cosplay Pikachu obviously ties in with Pokemon contests. Contests obviously are going to be returning, with you meeting a contest idol named Lucia who gives you special clothes for participating in Pokemon contests. I'm assuming that this also means that trainer customization will still be a thing, which would be amazing to kind of have. I'd be kind of sad if it only applied to the contests, however, but yeah. And then basically the last major bit of news is apparently you will be able to receive a shiny Beldum through an event where it is currently holding the Mega Stone for it. So yeah, those are things. They're definitely things. I kind of don't know what else to say about them, like the, you know, Beldum or the contests, other than the fact that I think Lucia is actually kind of an adorable character. Not to mention that your own, like May's outfit for the contest is actually really adorable as well. I'm not really a fan of any of the Pikachu things, of course. It's mostly just the Megas that I'm very excited for. I literally freaked out last night when I saw this. I couldn't believe my eyes. I mean, Salamence is going to be very, very powerful, very threatening, in the sense that you can give it the normal ability for Intimidate, and then you can just Mega Evolve after you've -1 their attack, and then have Aerially to do, you know, like a shit ton of damage with Thrash, or Return, or Frustration, or Hyper Voice if you're a special / mix set, you know. So it's just going to be a very threatening Pokemon, probably even more threatening than Mega Charizard X right now. Again, this all kind of depends on whether or not Mega Salamence has some kind of crazy reduction to its speed or something. Hopefully not, but I mean, we all saw how, you know, Garchomp got affected, so it's very possible that Salamence might lose some of its speed here in exchange for, you know, attack power or whatever, which would just make Salamence one of those Pokemon that are very hard to predict on, because if you bring in something that's super effective against Silence, they'll probably predict you to switch out, and otherwise they're just risking staying in and taking a huge amount of damage from something like Thrash. And then, like I said, Altaria's got a lot of decent moves. It gets Stab when Moonblast, as well as having the ability to turn Hyper Voice, Body Slam, Return, and Frustration, as well as several other moves into Fairy typing, and having Stab, and an 80% increase into approximately that anyway on all of its moves that are Fairy or normal that it runs on it. So, well, at least 80 on the normal moves, but you know what I mean. And then, of course, with Lopunny basically confirming the move tutors, it's just great. It's just absolutely amazing. I'm very excited for this. I cannot wait. I will leave a link to Serebii in the description. I'm not going to link all the images. All of the images, my bad. So that way you guys can just check it out for yourself. So yeah. I don't know if I'll be talking about this more next episode, but I mean, it's something I really do want to talk about some more at some point. I don't know, maybe I'll make another post on my blog about it, I don't know. Anyways, in the next episode, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be continuing through Reversal Mountain and hopefully getting the hell out of here and making our way to the next city. So, be sure to stay tuned for that if you haven't already. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and until next time, this is the PokeGamer signing out.